sure low. It's a big grand.
Welcome back, everybody, to Sure It'll Be Grand. It has been a month since our last episode, which means that we're doing 10 times as well as we have for the last year or so, bringing episodes out. Anyway,
Yeah.
It's your usual duo. It's me, Daniel, and Owen's here too. Say hello, Owen.
Hola.
Hola. Oh.
Haha.
Guten Tag.
No.
And we're back. Owen, how has your month been?
It's been fine, you know. It's the summer. So, yeah. That means I'm busy. Cause
Oh yeah. Where do you work, Owen? Well, you don't have to be exactly
I
where
work.
you work, but
I don't have a job. I don't work. I work in a zoo.
Yes. Reptile zoo.
Yep.
Yeah.
That narrows it down for you.
Inside there.
That narrows it down for everyone.
Sure, look. Everyone visit that reptile zoo.
Don't stay away from me. I don't.
Don't give me more work. Ugh. Nothing new with you. Looking forward to any movies coming out.
I watched the new The Witcher things.
I hear people are saying it's a very good season.
Very good.
Yeah.
Oh no. I mean, look, it's not as bad as season 2. It's not as good as season 1. It's not as bad as season 2. It was fine. The last episode was good.
I've heard people say who weren't massive fans of the first 2 seasons that this is the season I really got it right.
You swim in like odd circles.
I probably do.
I'll tell you this much: don't ever go near the Witcher subreddit, okay? Because those people hate the TV show with a burning passion.
They also love Henry Cavill, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But it seems to be a thing of like a good friend of mine is a big fan of The Witcher, like the franchise. Like she's like loves all the books and everything, and she stopped watching in rage halfway through season 2 and swore to never watch anything else.
Yeah, and I mean, from what we've heard, it seems that's why Henry Cavill kind of left as well. He was just like, they're going directions that are just not true to the story or the characters.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
supposedly, I mean, there was also a lot of rumors that he's a fucking asshole. So
yeah, big drama queen on set or something.
Yeah, and generally, like because it started out as like him being like no, and like fighting to keep the show true to the books and stuff because he's a huge fan. And it like by the time he left, it had kind of morphed into him just being a fucking asshole about everything and like refusing to turn up to set some days and like changing the script without telling anybody and that sort of stuff. Like and
obviously that's why he's a hero to the Reddit forum.
That's why they love him.
Yeah, fair enough. Are you looking forward to the Barbie movie?
Fucking hell yeah, I am.
Yeah.
We got, what's today? We got 19 days until Barbenheimer is released upon the world.
I know, right? Like it kind of just reminds me when what was it? Doom and Animal Crossing came out at the same time. And both fandoms, not that I think Oppenheimer has a fandom necessarily, but like both fandoms just kind of
Christopher Nolan
love the fact he does. Yeah,
Christopher Nolan has a fandom. I bet he's seething, but he hates everything that like so much of his. He's gotten so much additional marketing that he hates doing because of Barbie being released the same day.
Or he's really pissed off that he didn't get the Barbie movie.
No, I doubt it. I say he hates everything to do. Like the Barbie movies, like social media. So Margot Robbie and the director Greta Gerwig, like the last few days, they've been posting like photos to the Barbie's Instagram thing of them like going to see other movies that are coming out this month. So they went to see like Mission Impossible and they tagged Tom Cruise in it, and then they did one for Oppenheimer. of them standing in front of an Oppenheimer poster with like 2 tickets to Oppenheimer. I say Christopher Nolan fucking hates it.
Oh god. I'm a director. How dare you?
This is art.
Yeah. I don't want to make any more Batman movies. What?
Yeah, that's what
Anyway.
he keeps shouting that at random passersby.
Yeah. He really does want to make more Batman movies. Well, we're not really big Batman movie fans, are we, of his?
No, not really.
No.
I mean,
I know they're good. They're fine, like. They're just not like I know people who like treat it like the gospel.
no, absolutely not. No, the first one's a good Batman movie. The second one is a good Heath Ledger performance, and the third one is rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's funny now, like Bane.
It was funny kind of then too.
I was raised in the darkness. It's like, yeah, you know, it is what it is, but it's like it's not a good movie. The third one.
No. Anyway, but yeah, we're doing something a little bit different. This week we are we've watched a movie called Wild Tales. Came out in 2014. It was directed by Damien Sifron, and it's a movie that is broken up into 6 stories, and each one deals with how anger can slowly turn us into animals, which we realized after the first story, and no one looked at the intro credits. Like, there's a lot of animals here.
Yeah, it was like a David Attenborough intro type thing of just like random shots of various animals doing animal things, hunting and basking and whatever. And it was like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. People are animals.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We had a great time trying to predict what was happening in the movie and actually getting it right often.
Yeah. I mean, it's once it clicks, once you realize that like all the stories are going a very specific direction, it's not that hard to kind of go, oh yeah, we can see what's about to happen here.
Hey, excuse me, I understood the first story before we knew it was about getting angry and animals and stuff.
You did, yeah, but that's because you are related to Gabriel Pasternak.
I don't know what joke you're trying to make.
He's the guy in the first story that.
Oh right, yes, the musician, yes. Anyway, we're going to talk about that. Let's jump right into it. What the hell is going on? Yeah, so what the hell is going on? So we joined the first episode. A woman has been paid. She got a ticket for an airplane to go on a trip, and she hops on. I don't know why she accepted this in general. It just seems like, but we'll get there as we speak. She's there and she starts talking to this music critic who is like into classical music, and she kind of drops an ex-boyfriend's name, saying, "Oh, I had an ex-boyfriend who was like studying music," and she mentions his name, which is
Bono. It's
Bono went to Argentina.
The theme of the 6 stories is Bono. His name is Gabriel Pasternak, and the name of the first short is Pasternak.
Yes, and obviously he's an ex, but she felt like they left on good terms. The music critic went, "Oh wow, no, I was there for his dissertation. I destroyed him. I ripped apart all his music. His music, it was better for me to destroy it than it going out into the world." And suddenly, this one in the front went, "Hold on, are you talking about him, this Gabriel fella?" And said, "Yeah, well, I was his teacher, and she wasn't too great with him." And suddenly, like, more and more people on the plane saying, "Hold on." And the music critic, which I think is like the most sensible minded woman, does everyone on this plane know this man? And yeah, it turns out everyone on the plane knew this man. The stewardess makes a point that, "Hey, I can't get in contact with the cockpit," and Then
And the cabin chief's name today is Gabriel Pasternak.
dun dun dun, and that's when he starts speaking
Shocking.
over the aircom, not aircom,
Intercom.
intercom, yes, to the group saying like he's going to take them down, kill them all, and by the end of it, he like flies into an elderly couple's back garden, which we assumed are probably his parents.
Yeah, I mean, unless we like missed it. Like it says here in front of me that he crashes the plane into his parents' house. I'm assuming like we inferred that more than I guess there was a clue somewhere that it was his parents, but like I don't remember seeing anything specific. It's just kind of like, oh, who else could it be? Really, it must be his mom and dad, and I guess they didn't support his career or something. Fucking, I don't know.
Yeah. What did you think of the story?
Fun fact about cheese for you.
Okay, cool.
The most popular cheese recipe in the United States is macaroni and cheese.
The cheese recipe. You mean recipes including cheese?
Recipes that use cheese, yeah. Macaroni and
it's
cheese.
not like a recipe to make a cheese.
No, just recipes that use cheese. It's mac and cheese. There you go.
Mac and cheese, okay.
I thought this were more cheese facts coming up later on, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why. I can't remember.
We really don't know.
I don't know. We can't remember why, but we'll
kind of go back. We'll go into it in the last episode.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. You figure it out. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it was. I don't know. It was fine.
It was an intro story. I think it was the shortest one as well.
It's the shortest one, yeah. Every story is slightly longer than the last one.
Okay.
They keep getting longer. Yeah, I mean, look, it's not as a short in and of itself. It's quite good. Like it's interesting. The performances are like. It's weird to think of as like I always think of like shorts as like small budget things, and you don't necessarily expect much from the acting or anything like that.
Yeah.
But they're all of them throughout the 6 stories they're quite well acted, and then you realize this thing had a budget of about $4.5 million or something roughly. So like, yeah, I mean, look, like we said, it's not like I don't think the point of it isn't that you're supposed to figure out what's happening or anything. Like it's not a mystery or anything that you're on this plane with these people for like 30 minutes and slowly it's revealed what's connecting them all kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's not an episode of Lost or anything, but it's it's good. It's literally
unraveling, isn't it?
It's the start of like society has driven this man to insanity and murder and his base instincts, and like this is the first one, and we're gonna do this for another hour and a half.
Yeah.
2, however long it was.
Yeah, it was 2 hours long, yeah. But look, we'll go through the other stories kind of a little quicker. Next episode was there was a woman, and she was a waitress working in like a diner place, I guess. And a fellow walks in, and she recognizes him as a gangster, a mobster.
So he's a loan shark.
Loan shark. There you
so
go.
this is a bit that again I'm reading, and I guess we missed it, and or our subtitles didn't have it fully correct. Yeah. So he's a loan shark, and apparently he like lent the woman in the restaurant that recognizes him. He lent her parents money, and then when they couldn't pay it back, her dad. Either this guy killed her dad or her dad committed suicide.
Yeah.
Not certain. Again, I think I missed that in the movie because we spent a good portion at the start of this one going, is he a politician? Is this guy, is he in the mob? Is that like who is this gentleman? Is he
they called him mafioso, so
I thought he was a food critic at first or something. I was like,
okay.
I don't know. The first one had a music critic, and I just was like, oh, he must have like, look how empty this restaurant is. Maybe he gave her a really bad review, and that's why she's doing so poorly. But it's not really a restaurant. It's like
it's a diner thing.
A truck stop.
Yeah. But yeah, so she she's talking to her. I don't want to say friend, but the one who works with her.
She's
in,
the cook.
Yeah, the cook. And she says, "Oh, he ruined our lives. We had to leave. We had to move away. All this kind of stuff." And this woman straight away goes like, "Poison him with rat poison. Kill him."
Oh yeah, there's no hesitation whatsoever. This elderly cook is just like, hey, let's kill him. Hey, what do you want to do?
And she goes, have you been in prison? Yeah, for a while. It's much nicer than being out here. Out here is hell. It's awful.
Hey, don't worry about it. You'll be looked after in prison.
Yeah. And yeah, so eventually she does end up feeding him chips. Don't know how they got rat poison into the chips, but whatever.
Just sprinkled it over the top. Like salt.
Yeah, I guess is that enough to kill a human?
Oh man, who knows? Maybe she put it in the oil.
Maybe she ruined the fucking chips for everyone else. But yeah, eventually though, his son comes in, and he just seems to be this nice kid who has like some sort of allergy towards rat poison, because he has one chip, while your man has been chowing down on these. I think at this stage. Like, he's been eating them a good bit, and he seems to be fine.
Yeah.
And the young lad's, like, slowly dying of rat poisoning.
It's also like she put the rat poison in the chips when this gentleman was eating eggs with the chips.
Yeah.
Surely she could have put it in the eggs a little bit easier. Like.
Yeah. Could have. And yeah, but this guy, the father is a prick. He's like telling her how to do things properly. Does she need to write things down? Asks, I think he's getting into politics as well or something, because he asks her to like look at like different advertising with his face on it. Something along the lines of that.
Could be, yeah. There could just be ads for his loan business.
Loan sharking business. I want to advertise it,
They're legal.
Yeah, but
places.
but when she realizes the son is dying, she just kind of comes out and she's trying to get the plate off him, and he won't give the plate, and she just fucking throws it across the room, and he gets up and starts trying to attack her, and which I honestly think is the best stab I've seen in a movie.
This woman, yeah.
The chef
pretty realistic.
And like just stabbed him in the side. There was no cutaways. There was no hiding what was happening. It looked genuinely like someone got stabbed. There wasn't even too much blood at first. Like, it was just a stab into the body. There was no blood spraying. It just looked genuinely like a stab. And yeah, she kills him. And then I guess the cops come around, and no one suspects Yuan, because I guess the chef is the one who's been in prison, so they assume, it was probably you. The young lad is recovering from slight rat poisoning, and whose anger do you think it was?
Huh?
Because, okay, so this is all about showing like how humans become animals through anger and all this kind of stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think it was the chef? I don't think the chef was really angry.
I think it was the three of them.
He seemed the most angry, to be honest.
He was angry. She was desperate. The cook had given up on life. It's not all anger, I guess. It's just like, this is how society breaks people. Like, or this is the stuff that societal norms like keep us away from. You know what I mean? Like, we all pretend that we're advanced and cultured and humans, but really we're just animals, and we'll kill if given the chance.
That's the one I want to talk to you about when we get to about the wealthy businessman, but we'll get there in a sec. Let's move on then.
Cheese fact corner interjection. Cheese facts number 2.
Yes.
The cheese. That's what we're talking about here. Cheese takes up about 1/10 of the volume of the milk it was made from.
No.
That's a fact, right? That's a fun thing that we learned about.
Fact,
I'm not calling them fun facts because they're
cheesy facts.
Cheesy facts. All right, let's move on.
Okay, cool. I think we'll let you do this one because I have no such thing as anger issues when it comes to driving, and you drive.
I do drive. I drive myself crazy, huh? Whoa. Yeah. Well, this one is the third one is titled El Más Fuerte, which means things, I guess. I think that means crime of passion or something along those lines. Yeah. So this one is about some fella, and he's driving in the desert, and he there's a car in front of him, and the car in front of him won't let him overtake him. Essentially, he keeps kind of blocking him off and won't let him overtake, even though they're in the desert and there's nobody else on the road. And your man gets a bit mad, so when he finally does drive past him, I can't imagine, he like fucking sticks his finger up at him, or he's like calls him a piece of shit or whatever out the window. And then he takes off. He, like a little bit further up the road, he gets a flat tire, and the car that he overtook pulls up, and this gentleman of sorts gets out of the car and like just goes fucking a bit mad. Like he breaks in the windscreen of the other fella's car, and then he climbs on the bonnet and shits on the bonnet, and pisses everywhere, and he keeps fucking he's like hurling abuse at your man and telling him to get out of the car, basically.
Your man is all, I'm sorry, I didn't mean
your man is, and he's like, he's in the car as well, and he's like pretending to call the police.
He calls him at one stage. He does get through. Yeah,
but you can hear him at the start. You can hear his phone ringing.
Okay, all right.
Throughout the whole thing, so he has the phone in his hand, and he picks up the phone and immediately starts like looking at your man, going, "Yes, I'm on the Route 92, just off after the beside the bridge, and there's a man here. What's that? You'll be here in 10 seconds." That kind of thing. But you can hear the ringing sound of his.
Right.
He's not actually talking to the police.
He fooled me.
Well, I don't think your man cared. Is the thing? Your man was shitting on his bonnet. He's like, I called the police.
Especially because like another car drove by at one stage, and the guy went, "Hey!" He's like, waved to his friend. Like,
I mean, listen, buddy. If it's gotten to the point where I'm shitting on somebody's bonnet, I don't think I care if you call the police. To be honest, I'm doing it in front of you. Like I'm not in this to get away with the crime. Well, it devolves from there. Then basically, your man who was shat on, he it's like he's gonna leave, and then he's like, nah, fuck this shit, and he waits for the other guy to get back in his car, which is parked like so they're at like the start of a bridge, and there's a little, it's not even, I won't call it a cliff because it's not a it's just like a little drop into like,
it's a very steep riverbank,
a foot of water. Like basically he pushes your man's car off it and then like drives off, but then he drives off a little bit, and then he's kind of like, oh fuck, I better go back and kill him.
No, I think at first he's like, oh shit, I might have killed someone, I better go back, and like, I think he's actually not even trying to hurt him at that stage. He's like,
he goes back with the intent of running him over, doesn't he?
Oh, he does try to hit him, isn't he?
I think he's like, oh shit, I better make sure he's dead so I don't get in trouble or something. So he goes back, and like your man is climbing up, and he tries to run him over, and then he loses control of his own car, and he crashes into the river. And your man climbs in through the back of the car to try and beat him to death with a crowbar. And they have a big fight, and then the car explodes, and the police arrive to check out the scene, and I guess it like the two of them, their charred bodies are in the car like embracing each other. So you can like, I guess the police maybe assume it was like two lovers or something in a crime of passion.
You made a point. It's probably going to be really hard for the CSI crowd to understand step for step what happened there.
I mean, if you arrived on a scene and you have two cars, one stacked on top of the other car. There's two bodies that have been exploded in the car, and then you also find human feces on the bonnet of the top car.
Yeah.
I think you're going to need Sherlock Holmes to figure out what actually happened in that. They're probably looking to go, well, chalk this one down to a Bonnie and Clyde situation, because I don't know what the fuck happened here.
By the way, cheese fact. Cremoso is the most popular cheese in Argentina.
Cremoso?
Cremoso.
Never heard of it.
Neither have I.
Absolutely never heard of it. Why didn't you leave the cheese facts to me? The cheese fact.
Because I let you do this part. Okay. The story. It's a semi-soft Argentinian cheese made with cow's milk with or without addition of cream.
Wow.
There you go.
Never heard of it. I don't think we have that here, do we?
I don't know. Probably.
Don't get a lot of Argentinian things here.
No, but we get a lot of cheese.
Brazilians.
We do get Brazilians.
There's Brazilians of them. That's your cheesy joke for the.
Anyway, now we enter the Marvel Universe, MCU portion of this.
Oh yeah, this is where it gets interesting. Finally, some superhero stuff.
Yeah, finally. So Simon Fisher, he's a demolition expert. He parks his car somewhere where there's no double yellow lines or whatever version they have in Argentina, and he gets his car towed. And he seems like a reasonable enough man. You know, he goes to the place. Hey, look, there's no double yellow lines there. And they went, you still gotta pay. We won't release it, and then you can go to the office of the town to put in a request to get your money back. Because you know, you're working for like an evil organization, don't you? You're evil. It's only my job. No, you're evil. And he goes like, fine, I'll go and do that. And he goes off to. Does he go off? No, he goes the next day. Doesn't he?
Goes home. It's his daughter's birthday, so he brings the cake home, and his wife gives out to him.
Yeah, and she's like, "What the fuck, man? You keep missing your daughter's birthdays."
Yeah, you're always late, and you're always. I can't believe you're angry. And because he comes in, and he's like giving out about getting a ticket or whatever, and she's like, "It's your daughter's birthday, and you're like 2 hours late, and you had the cake, and like, you know, that kind of."
Yeah, because she blows a candle out on a cupcake or something like that.
She's like, "I'm done with you."
What do you mean?
She
with
says,
that? Yeah,
violently.
Yeah. So the next day he goes off to the main office, the governmental buildings, and is trying to request and says,
the DMV.
The DMV or whatever they call it over there. And he goes, there was no WL. And said, I'm afraid you still parked there when you shouldn't have. And says, how am I meant to know this? You just go into this I think TV channel that tells
he said
you.
I think he said it's all the information about parking zones is on the DMV website or something.
Oh yeah,
and your man is like, so you expect me to know every parking zone in the city? And I think your man behind the desk is like, well, if you murder someone and then turn around and say, well, nobody told me that was a crime, that doesn't mean it's not a crime. Still, you still murdered them. And your man is kind of like, what? Those two things are not at all alike. And then tries to murder the man behind the desk with a fucking
he picks
fire
up,
extinguisher.
a divider and he smashes it against the window. And the newspaper gets a pick of him doing that as well. And what does he do then?
Well, he has a divorce mitigation thing.
That's right. He
has to go to a meeting, and it turns out
this is just he goes to prison. He goes to prison first, and someone from his office brings him out, asks him if he was raped. Reasons.
Yeah, I think he gets fired.
He gets fired, yeah, because the picture of him like attacking the city official. The city is a big client of their.
He's a demolition man, by the way. Did we say that?
Yeah,
that's what he does.
I said at the beginning. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
They said that. They're one of our biggest clients. We can't have you on this anymore. Sorry, you're fired. And he goes, oh, fuck this. And this is like also when the wife divorces him because he's in the paper attacking city person, losing a job. And then eventually he has like a lawyer talk about divorcing with her. And the other lawyer's just like, yeah, you're not going to get full custody of the child because you don't have a job at the moment. It's been like a week.
Yeah, and then
how quick is divorcing in this day and age, right?
And then the
divorce in a week.
Wife's lawyer pulls out the newspaper picture of him going, and the story about him getting sent to prison and stuff, and she's like, we can't have we don't want this kind of like violence and stuff around the child, and he's clearly not like fit to have her and all this kind of stuff.
The mother's not really that way inclined or that much. She's just like, no, hold on, I do want him to see his daughter and all this kind of stuff. Like, she makes a point of that, you know.
He asks her. He said he loses the plot again, as he's entitled to, I think, in this situation. And he says, like, "Are you really?" He's looking at the wife, and he's like, "Are you you're trying to take my daughter from me?" Like, and the wife is like, "No, that's no." And then the lawyer like cuts her off, and they leave.
Yeah, but even before, when the lawyers start talking about like getting full custody, you see the mother react to like, "Oh, what? Hold on!" Like, it's very much like, "No, this is not what we said." Okay, and then comes our MCU hero, Mr. Dynamite.
Bombita,
which means little bomb.
Yep, that's the title of this short. Bombita.
Yes.
The subtitles kept calling him Dynamite. So.
Yeah, Bombita. But yes, he decides, like, his car gets like pulled off again, and he has to get it out again. And the third time, he's just like, hold on a second, and he preps his car to blow up inside the DMV place thing in the car park. And newspapers are just like, he clearly did, so that was nowhere near anyone. It was all like professionally done. This is Mr. Dynamite, as we were told in the subtitles. The little bomb, he's everywhere. He eventually, you know, we don't see it, but he gets arrested, put in prison. But the daughter, I guess, on her birthday or his birthday, like, comes in. The prison's lovely. Like, everyone in the prison's really nice and caring, and they're all like clapping and singing happy birthday for him as the kid gets brought in. You know, it's a really nice.
And we get our first
atmosphere.
Easter egg.
Yes, go on.
This thing is chock full of Easter eggs for all you Marvel fans out there. It's got a Pixar Easter egg. The daughter and I think it's his birthday that they're visiting him for, and they give him a cake, and on the top of the cake is a little tow truck. So clearly a reference to Mater from Cars, the Pixar franchise.
No, it definitely is, like,
clearly.
Yeah. And he seems to have a really nice life. Like, it shows that maybe his anger, and like, everyone's really proud of him, maybe because they went against the city and the injustice of the city, and this is why a lot of people end up angry and in prison. It's because of injustice in the systems. And he's now at peace because he did what he wanted to do.
He fought against the chains that bind us.
Yeah, exactly.
AKA society.
Yeah. But yeah. So.
Cheese fact corner.
Yes, give me cheese.
A giant wheel of cheddar cheese was given to Queen Victoria as a wedding gift. It weighed over 1,000 pounds.
She ate it that night.
A normal block of cheddar weighs 60 to 75 pounds.
She ate it that night because she was a very hefty woman.
She was. Yep.
Yeah. She was more wide than she was tall. But yes, we'll move on. This is the one I think is actually the most interesting one. So, young lad comes home. We see there's a dent in the number plate, and he goes into his very rich parents' house, into their room, and says, "I may have killed someone on the road and driven away." And as the news comes out, we find out that a woman who was pregnant got killed on the road. Her boyfriend, who is not the nicest looking chap in the world, says he wants to kill whoever did this. But for now, the family is safe because they haven't said anything, but it's only bound to happen that eventually they'll track them down. So while the rich father's looking outside on the lawn, he sees his groundskeeper and goes, "I got an idea." And he brings him inside and says, "Hey, buddy, we've been friends for a while and not have a weird sort of power imbalance as me being your boss for years. You have kids and a family, you know. So my son killed someone and I need you to go to prison for him."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And he says he'll give him 500,000, I believe.
Yeah, 500,000 Argentinian pesos.
I think it said dollars
Yeah,
in
so
the
the
subtitles.
subtitles always said dollars, but we looked it up. They don't use the dollar in
Yeah, but I think maybe the subtitles actually like translated it. Because, like he
You
says,
think so?
your family, he said your family will be set for life.
Yeah.
I'm like
500,000.
30 grand.
Well, it's-
your family is set for life.
It's like $80,000.
Yeah,
That's
no,
it,
I
okay.
think they actually meant like that was the equivalent exchange. Like, and yeah, he calls his lawyer. His lawyer apparently has a side service of like getting people out of murders. He comes over and he's just like, yeah, don't worry, I'll take care of everything. And you know, they got the guy to sit in the car, touch all the steering wheel, all this kind of stuff. And the guy eventually goes like, I'm not sure I want to still do this. Like, please, I really rather we didn't. I didn't have to do all this stuff. And he goes like, go on, you'll be fine. He's like, all right, especially I think when the son hugs him, he's just like, ugh, I guess I have to now. Eventually, the police sergeant comes around because they've mentioned what happened, and the lawyer makes a deal with him and says, yeah, so it's only going to cost you like another like 500,000 to pay off him. And then, you know, so that's only like $1 million. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Right? That was roughly the math at that stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the groundskeeper over here says, hey, actually, I want another 500,000. And I want like a flat, all paid for. I want that too. And he just goes like, that's getting a bit more expensive now. And then the lawyer said, yeah, look, it's fine. You know, he goes, okay, so it's only like 1,500,000. He says, yeah, and obviously the lawyer then, my fee. He goes, sorry, what? I pay you already. Like this, you're my lawyer. I pay you all the time. It's like, this isn't exactly part of the job description. And he goes, yeah, it's going to be about 2 million. And then we find out that they talk about costs and all this. And eventually the old fella just goes like, you know what? No, my son can go to prison. He'll be fine. It's only 2 years. And they all like try to like work him back into the deal, saying, oh, it's fine. Look, we'll cut this part of the fees down. You'll only have to pay this. And I think eventually he gets it. The old fella actually like wins, like gets them to reduce the price on saving his son.
Yeah, they come back to him with a counter offer, and they're like, oh no, look, we've all agreed that it's the 2 million, and we'll pay for any fees or anything that needs to be paid for will come out of the 2 million. And the dad is like, no, you fucked up. No, you shouldn't have tried to fucking con me. I offered you some money and you were a dickhead about it. So I will give you 1 million and you can split it between the three of you, or you can all fuck off, basically. And they're like, well, shit. Okay, fine.
Yeah. And yeah, groundskeeper goes outside. There's a big circus of journalists. And the boyfriend of Yuan comes out of nowhere and smacks him over the head, kills him with a hammer. So,
yeah.
What is the meaning of the story? What's the lesson we learned?
Don't kill a pregnant woman with your car.
That's a good lesson.
I think that's one we can all learn to live by, personally.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's not a bad one. Yeah. Do you have a cheese fact?
Cheese fact corner time for cheese facts with the cheese fact man. During the Roman Empire, large Roman houses had separate kitchens used for manufacturing cheese only. They were called cardiale.
Cardiale.
Yes.
And it's interesting that we now talk about cheesy names, because we're going to go to what is the origin of our cheese conundrum, which is the last episode or last story, Until Death Do Us Part. And it's a wedding. We think it's a Roma wedding. It's quite Roma music and dancing and that kind of thing.
So again, what I have in front of me, they say it says it's a Jewish wedding.
Oh, Jewish wedding. Okay.
Yeah. Don't know.
Okay, cool. All right, Jewish wedding. But yeah, so all dancing around and having fun, and they're having a great time when we see that the bride sees her husband's phone, or someone tells her that he cheated on her.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not really important how she finds out, but she discovers that the husband cheated on her. Not only did he cheat on her, he did it with a woman who is at the wedding.
Yeah. But yeah, so like they do their dance, and she asks him, "Did you cheat on me? Did you cheat on me?" And eventually he admits to it, and she just absolutely loses it and kind of runs out of the wedding and runs to the roof of the house. Some really nice like camera shots in this.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and time for Pixar Easter egg number 2.
Go on, man.
She fucks Ratatouille on the roof of the hotel.
Yeah,
that's the Ratatouille man. It's the guy.
That's right.
He's got Ratatouille under his hat.
Yeah,
he's a chef, I think.
Yeah, whose hat wobbled around. Just saying.
Just saying. There's definitely a Ratatouille under there.
That's it. But yeah, and she's just like, eventually the husband catches her and just said, "I am going to take everything from you. I'm going to stay with you for the longest time. And then eventually you're going to break up with me. I'm going to take every single business that your father owns and own it. I'm going to ruin your life. I'll get a bloody acting lessons to when we go to court to see like I didn't know any of this and be traumatized and sad and all this kind of stuff." And she's got very much lost at this stage. She's ready to murder everything. But yeah, so she goes back down and she's just at swinging her yuan that the husband's cheating on with, and they both fly into a mirror, like a full-scale mirror, and it breaks apart. She has to go to hospital because there's a chance the cheater has to go to hospital because there's a chance that there might be some like damage to her tendons. Whereas the bride's just like, "Oh, do you have health insurance? Do you have health insurance? I only ask if you have health insurance." And she goes back in, and it just like the husband goes like, like my family is saying I should sue you. Like this is absolutely ridiculous. And I think at this stage he might actually get a case in court. And yeah, there's just a giant fight starts off. He starts picking up a knife. There's like a talk down from the ambulance people, and he just says, "No, I'm just eating cake." And he picks her up and begins to just dance with her. I guess the marriage is going forward.
Yeah, you
can't get worse than that, can it?
Probably not. No.
At some stage, we talked about saying, what's the Argentinian for cheese? We don't know why we asked for that. And I mentioned fromage, and then we talked about queso, and then we talked about, cheese is just like a softened version of queso. Soften the K into CH. And we talk about cheese for a lot of this episode. And this is why Owen has brought us so many lovely cheese facts.
Fact number 6 on the cheese fact thing that we're doing, this cheese facts. The world's most expensive sandwich is called the quintessential grilled cheese from, I guess the restaurant is called Serendipity. And it is it's made with Caciocavallo Podelico cheese, which is a rare Italian variety made from the milk of free-ranging cows fed on a diet of fennel and wild strawberries. And the sandwich also has a truffle spread and gold flakes. And it retails for... What do you think? How much do you think it is?
$6,000.
No, you're way off. It's $215.
I don't know, man. You know how these fucking things can go.
I don't believe that cheese fact. There's definitely a more expensive sandwich than $215.
Yeah. surprised they haven't smeared it in like truffles and like covered the whole thing in gold. You know, it's usually what they do when they say, "Did you know this is the most expensive cake?" And they just like, yeah, they just put like gold foil on it. It's like, oh, all right. But yeah, what do you think of this last episode?
Apparently, it is the world's most expensive sandwich, Dan.
All right, okay. We should make more.
An apt metaphor for marriage. I think there's something in there.
What do you think of this last story?
Well, I'll put it this way, Dan. We spent most of the runtime discussing cheese.
That's a fair point, yeah. I mean, it was always going to end the way it was going to end, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, look, we'll give our final views, I think.
Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
Right. What do you think about movies like this that have multiple stories in them?
Not really a fan. Unless it's something like Love Actually or like Valentine's
Day. They actually all tie together as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Unless they're all like,
Okay.
it comes at the end of the movie, they're like, actually, all these people know each other. Which would have been fun if they had, at the end of this one, they were all like, actually, all of these people were also related to Gabriel Pasternak or something. I don't know. Look, they're not, each individual story in the anthology in and of itself as a short is good, right? But I honestly, I think I said this when we were watching it. I feel this way. I more or less feel this way about like Black Mirror as well.
Yeah.
And that like, I get it, like I get and it's not like, I could have just watched two of them or like one of them and been like, oh yeah, I get what the director's trying to say here. Like I understand it. Which, it's fine. They're all decent stories, but like.
But don't you think that these people are all angry about, obviously about different things, but like different concepts of what leads us to anger and the kind of anger we get from that?
I agree with his points. Like, I mean, we should all be angry. I say we should all riot. I think we should all riot. Fuck it, man. Let's go. I'm going to Paris.
But like if we go over to like, the first one's revenge. I guess the second one's revenge as well in a way, but that's why I don't think the waitress is necessarily angry.
They're all a little bit revenge.
A little bit, yeah, I suppose. I guess the driver, well, that's road rage. I suppose there's revenge on that. He called me an asshole, so I'm going to shit on his car.
Yeah, that's a tit for tat that got out of hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Little Bomb is about being angry at the system. Again, it's revenge as well because, of course, he blows up his car.
Yeah, that's the best
kills
one.
a bunch of people. The Proposal, again, yeah, I suppose it is about revenge. But I think there's also other elements to it because in The Proposal, it's also about being angry at someone who you're about to hitch your life to. Like, the person, that you're meant to trust and believe. And that's all fallen away, literally when it's too late. Like, they're married. And then Until Death Do Us Part, no, that is the one. The businessman one, I guess, is about being fucked over in a situation that you don't want to be in. Like, so you're already down on your luck because your son killed someone and you're trying to get out of it, and then people are trying to take advantage of it. You know?
I mean, to quote the director, he first of all, he thinks the common themes of all of them are violence, vengeance, and catharsis.
Yes, the catharsis is probably the rat one the most.
Direct quote from him, he says that all the stories are connected by, quote, the fuzzy boundary that separates civilization from barbarism, the vertigo of losing your temper, and the undeniable pleasure of losing control.
Okay.
So I think to him it's basically about that for the difference between humans and animals is the ability to practice restraint.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, sometimes the society that offers us those restraints also causes us to return to base instinct and want to break them.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, because a lot of taboos are going on here as well. Like, like the one then yeah, we should just kill them with rat poison. I don't care about like social controls. Cheating on your spouse at your wedding. Talk about like breaking, like culturally expected things. The businessman like paying his way out of a system so his son doesn't get hurt. Like they're all about like saying fuck you to the system as well in a way. In the kind of social settings we made.
I said something vaguely smart, so I need a cheese fact to counteract it. Pizza Hut is the largest cheese-using fast food giant, and it uses approximately 300 million pounds of cheese a year.
I believe Glanbia sends about 1/3 of that cheese.
To Pizza Hut?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, the last week of June was National Cheese Week in the US.
Oh, well, we watched it just in time for it, didn't we?
Wow.
But yeah, I think that's it. Owen, what are we watching next month?
Oh, baby. I'm actually thoroughly excited for this one. We're doing a movie called The Seventh Seal, which was released in 1957 and is directed by Ingmar Bergman, who I guess is not a massive name, is not like a household name, but would be considered one of the greatest directors of all time. It's an old movie. It's in black and white, and a lot of it is in Latin. So start studying. Okay?
Yeah.
No subtitles. We're learning Latin for this one.
We're doing
the pod. We have a month. We're doing the podcast in Latin. Okay?
Oh yeah,
All right?
Latin is a very easy language after all.
Yeah. Don't worry. Listen, we sort of speak it now.
That's one hell of a fucking reach.
What? Well, okay, we can do it in Swedish instead then. How about that?
Okay, cool. We'll listen to it in Swedish. Folks, thank you for joining us once more, and we'll see you next month. Goodbye.
Asherlo.